You're listening to Navid Moosa of the Mindset Movement.
Good day, good people. My name is Navid Moosa. I'm your host today and always for the Mindset Movement, the podcast. First-time listeners, thanks for giving us opportunity. Really appreciate that. Long-time listeners, thank you for riding with us and being loyal. Really appreciate that as well. So the purpose of the podcast is in hopes to inspire and in hopes that if you just want to be a little bit better than what you are today, if that's what you desire, that's what we're going to be here for. So we get into it, no fluff, no stuff. And I want to talk about expectations versus relying on somebody or reliability. So the way I was brought up, there were certain expectations set of me, right? So on weekends, I didn't sleep in 8 o'clock. My dad was like, nope, come on, let's go. There's work to do, whether it be cutting the grass, raking the lawn, or just getting up. My father was a very hard worker. So was my mom, obviously. And my mother ran the household, and my father would worked at a tire factory. And so, he would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning when he worked on most shifts. And I would actually get up with him, even on a school day. I would get up at 4 o'clock with him. I get up, I eat breakfast with him and stuff like that. Although I didn't have to get ready for school till like 8 or 7 o'clock, whatever it was. I just want to get up with my dad. And then so on Saturdays, he was up early and he would wake me up. 8 o'clock was the latest I could sleep in. I had to be up at 8 o'clock no matter what. Even if there was nothing to do around the house, I still could not sleep and I had to be up at 8. So that's what I was used to. So that was the expectation I put on as I got older and made friends, right? So in school, my best friend, I thought, because I was raised that way, he was raised the same way. He wasn't. He would sleep in and stuff like that. Even my now wife, her family members who I met when I was in high school, I thought the same thing. No, they could sleep until 12 or 1, and I thought that was like weird. Like, who the hell sleeps in that late? Like, that's not normal. But that it wasn't my normal, right? No one, it wasn't just me. No one in our house, none of us slept in. We weren't allowed to. It was you get up, you work, you get up, you work, you get up, you work. The house had to be in order all the time, stuff like that. And it wasn't, man, I don't want to sound like we were like, machines in there. We enjoyed our family life tremendously. But that expectation that was put on me at a young age, and my siblings as well, is the same expectation that I put onto the people that I would run into throughout my life. So the different stages of my life, the different ages, the grades, the schools, as I would run into people, I would run into a whole bunch of different expectations, right? Like, if you tell me to be somewhere at a certain time, I would be there at that time or earlier, because I was always expected to be somewhere on that time. And the reason why I was always expected to be somewhere usually earlier was because if it was an event, like, a birthday party or whatever, we had to set up stuff. So our family, because it was, big family, we always set up tables, broke down tables, set up chairs, broke down chairs, helped serve food, helped get on, the old school stuff, whatever. We were being relied upon to do that. And in order to be reliable, we had to meet these expectations. And so that's what I knew growing up, and that's what I was channeling or pushing off to other people. When they didn't do that, I'm like, what the hell? Why are you so lazy? Why are you sleeping in? That's ridiculous. You can't sleep in. Why are you showing up late to an event? You should be there on time. You should be early. Event's over. Why are you leaving now? We got to help set up. We have to help clean up. We have to help tear down stuff. Because that's what I expected of everybody else to do, because that was expected of me. And that's the world I lived in. And I realized throughout time that the way I grew up was not normal. Not that it was bad, but it wasn't part of the norm. And it's not to say that those who slept in were lazy. It's just that those who slept in didn't have the work ethic that I felt that I had. And so because of that, I'm like, I don't want to fuck with you. I didn't. I'm like, I can't. I wanted to be with someone in myself. And on the flip side, when on my younger life, when I was extremely immature, I'm just a little bit immature now. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, you can sleep in? You mean you don't got to do work every weekend? I'm going to try that at my house. Shit, that didn't go over very well. Caused a lot of chaos. Or you could go out on a Saturday night with your friends. What do you not? Saturday night to me was family time. We all went to my cousin's house, or our cousins came to our house. So that was my reality, was family, family, family all the time. So every weekend we go over there, they come over here. So when I would see kids going out, like, oh, we're gonna go bowling, we're gonna go movies, we're gonna go to a dance. I was like, I want some of that life. I want to try it. No, it didn't go very well in the household. But it's really weird how, okay, so, and as a matter of fact, let me talk about that a little bit more. Let me talk about the kids who were going out, who were having a good time in how they knew, movies, bowling, dances, parties, and stuff like that. That was their norm. So when I told them I couldn't go, I had asked my mom and dad, and usually 9 times out of 10, the answer was no. They look at me like, what? So I became the boring kid to some people, and because their expectation was I should be doing these things because they're allowed to do these things. So they were putting their expectations on me. And I felt that pressure. Like, well, hey, if I'm the reliable person that I am, and my friends are relying on me to be there at the party, at the event, I'm now not being reliable. So I'm not holding up the duties that I was instilled in growing up. Right. So it became a conflict. I'm supposed to be reliable, right? By showing up early to the events and setting up and tearing down, and be reliable by helping people. So when my friends are relying on me to show up to have a good time and I can't, and it's because my parents who told me to be reliable are preventing that caused a lot of conflict growing up. So, and it wasn't done on purpose, it was done inadvertently. And you don't think about those things, right? We have the expectations that are put onto us growing up, they're instilled. We channel that forecast onto our sphere that we developed growing up. And then the sphere we're forecasting it on has a different set of expectations. And they may not be similar to ours, so then they collide. And so depending who you are, depending on your maturity level, depending on a whole bunch of different factors, you either try to meld them together, or you just say, the hell with it, this ain't working. See you later. And that's it, you'll part ways. So there's a lot of differences that there's a lot of different ways to accomplish the same goal. There's a lot of expectations that we put on each other, and the expectations, they're the same expectation. It's just how we feel we need to project that expectation, or how we feel we need to accomplish that expectation, I guess is a better way to say it. And we just don't realize it. It's again, doesn't come from a place of a bad space or anything. It's just, it's there. We just kind of sometimes need to take a step back and look at it. And before we deem someone not to be worthy of our presence, we need to dig a little bit deep and get to know people and get to find out what their past is like and why they are who they are. And if they want to tell you, of course, obviously. So that's what I got for y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed it. First time listening, if you did, please like us and share us and tell your friends about us. If you didn't, tell us why and give us a second chance. Long-time listeners, thank you as always. We love you guys. Look, each and every week I end the show the same way, and that is just take care of the client. Take care of the client, everything else will fall into place. I promise you, just take care of the client and everything else will fall into place. And sometimes you are the client. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. Be safe. Be smart. And I'll see you all next week. See ya.